Salam, wise solid speaking. Giving everyone a chance to get in here. I want to explain why there's so much homosexuality or booty play in the society that we're in. And I also want to give you guys some deep scholarship pertaining to Hinduism. Third eye knowledge. I'm going to start in about 30 seconds. Peace and wisdom, King Alpha. Let me know if I'm clear over this music. Now let's begin. I'm not sure what that light is. I guess that's my angel. Now in Hinduism, okay, you said you hear me clearly. In Hinduism and other Far East teachings, you have what's known as the third eye, or the Ajna chakra. Most people in today's times, they don't know the scholarship accurately, meaning the wisdom that goes with the third eye. Most people know it inaccurately. Now, if people knew these scholarships the right way, there would be many things that y'all would see in society and y'all would already know what it is or what's transpiring. You know, like the ulterior motive, the agenda behind a thing. That's the main thing. You don't want to get caught up in anybody's agenda. Now, if you all had the proper understanding of the third eye, your Hindu scholarship, if you all had the proper understanding of the third eye, you all would know why your booty, so to say, is under attack. Now, it is rumored that there's a lot of anal activity going on in hip-hop and other forms of entertainment. And here's the reason why. The anus, that's the asshole, that's the third eye. It leads to the Ajna chakra, which is the prostate. Now, why that's important? The prostate or the Ajna chakra is where all the consciousness in life derives, meaning all manifested conscious beings. Me, you, the dog, the cat, all manifested consciousness comes from the prostate or that source. Now, to give you an example, because some of y'all may be lost, we all start out as a substance, ejaculated from our fathers. And that substance came from his prostate. The substance is the consciousness that will be bound to the vessel. So you can say seminal fluid is the consciousness, comes from the prostate. In that the prostate is the source of all consciousness, or all manifested consciousness. Of course, when a man ejaculates, the father, whose ever father we're speaking of at the time, that substance, which is pure consciousness, awareness, will be bound to the egg cell. That's the precursor to the body. In that, do you get my point? The consciousness is bound to the vessel, but the consciousness is coming from the prostate or the Ajna chakra, let's say the energies that manifest out as the prostate. This is where all consciousness derives from, all spirits, you know? Now, if you look at depictions of the third eye, you'll notice waves or squiggly lines emitting from it. You'll notice in some depictions, like on Shiva, it's just the slit in the forehead with waves coming off it. These are all representations of the anus hole. If you ever look at anus hole, you know, it has those energies emitting from it. Now, when you see these images of the third eye, it's an image of the anus hole. That is the third eye. I guess in society, you can't just openly speak about assholes. But most of the wisdom from the ancient cultures, they have to do with our vessels, our bodies. There's a lot of wisdom pertaining to it. Basically, knowledge of self. Now, if you want to explain something, let's say the birds and the bees. If I ask y'all, where can we go look up the birds and the bees? This is not like out there in your face. Everybody's not mature enough to have these conversations. And that, do you get my point? I guess in ancient times, it was altered so that it could be accepted by society. Basically, putting the anus there, you get my point, will give you a perspective, like, you know, as above, so below. Meaning, if you understand as above, so below, then you get my point. The ass is like a head with an eye central. You get my point? In that, like I said, as above, so below. These is all representations of the asshole. Like I said, the asshole leads to the Ajna chakra, which is the prostate. I'm going to get to that in a second, but do you get my point? Any image you see of an eye, it has to do with the anus hole. That's the third eye. There's nothing else on your body that resembles an eye except for the ass. You get my point? Meaning, you're young maybe. If you my age or older, people used to say, I'll kick you in your winker. Talking about your ass. Winker. Your asshole is the only other hole on your body that resembles an eye. When it's closed, of course, but you get it. Opening the third chakra. Leads to the action chakra. This is the actual energies or what's internal. Now, like I said, the ass is like a head with one eye central. When you see deities with third eyes on their forehead, this means they're a subconscious or metaphysical entity. When I say subconscious, of course, you have your brain and your eyes. This correlates with consciousness in the physical world. Then you have the subconscious. The consciousness y'all use when dreaming and other internal things. You know, the spiritual. And that, do you get my point? Any deity with a third eye on the forehead is basically to say that's a rectum neuron or prostate deity. Not sure if that makes sense. Peace and wisdom. So ass head was never a derogatory term. Peace and wisdom, I suppose not. Now, like I said, the third eye leads to the Ajna chakra. The Ajna chakra is depicted as a lotus flower with 2 petals. Now, if you're familiar with Hinduism, the Ajna chakra corresponds to the Vijnana state. The Vijnana state is basically the consciousness or the life force state. We speak in sources though. So again, the Ajna chakra, which is depicted as a lotus flower, corresponds with the Vijnana state, which is basically consciousness or the life force state. Now, 1 petal on this lotus flower is for Susamna. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing it right. Susumna. And the other petal is for Hamsa. Now, Hamsa is basically the inhale, exhale. I did a video in the past where I explained to you guys. Somebody let me know if that last comment is real or a troll. Somebody put rest in peace, Meek Mill, but in any event, Hamsa has to do with the inhale, exhale. I'm trying to make everything simple. Like I said, I'm trying to make everything simple. Hamsa has to do with the inhale, exhale. Now, I did a video in the past where I told you guys to close your eyes and inhale and exhale, but don't control it in any way. Just become aware of how it flows on its own. In that, peace and wisdom. Thank you for that. Get them out of here. Like I said, become aware or pay attention to how it flows on its own, in and out. That breath is the source. And so it is saying that Hamsa represents that breath or source. Now, Susamna is the central channel that connects the base chakra to the crown chakra. Of course, the prostate or the Ajna chakra is in between those two, the base and the crown. Now, those are your references. I have a video on my website that's uploading, and it has all the images so y'all can see. Now, the prostate or Ajna chakra, I need to make one of y'all a moderator. I need to just make y'all come directly to my website. There's too many weirdos. Now, the prostate or the Ajna chakra. This is the energy or organ that separates a man from a woman. You get my point? It is the source of masculine energy. Basically what makes a man a man. When the chakra is tampered with, the energy is transitioned or altered. This is the beginnings of homosexuality, basically. I'll say that again for some of y'all that's slow. The prostate, which is the Ajna chakra, is the energy that separates a man from a woman. Once the Ajna chakra, which is the prostate, is tampered with, the energy that it is can be transitioned or altered into another state. Remember, the prostate is where all consciousness derives. Masculinity is a part of consciousness. Of course, feminine and the consciousness that that is. It's a part of consciousness. And so you get my point? When you tamper with the Ajna chakra or the prostate, you're tampering with the energy or the consciousness that it is. Of course, all energy is consciousness. And so it's basically the way to feminize or make one submissive. Think like in religion, Christianity. We are all the bride of the Holy Spirit, male and female, but males are not brides. That's feminine. But we're all the bride of the Holy Spirit. When you're dealing with early religion, Islam and Christianity, the male's booties were tampered with. And it had to do with what I just said, meaning turning everyone's energy feminine. You get my point? I'm not sure if I'm explaining it right, but you have weird sayings like that in religion. You know, we're all the bride of Christ. Now, some of us are men, so that's a little strange. You say, how be all a bride? Shit, I'm a bridegroom. Not in religion, because religion got to do with transcending the masculine energies feminine. Myron Gray said, you're right. I remember Crowley stating what you're explaining. I don't know who that is. Oh, Aleister Crowley. I said, who that? I'm getting old, baby. I don't know what y'all be talking about. Excuse me? But think like in Hinduism. You have Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva. This is basically masculine, Brahma. Vishnu is the in-between. Shiva is your feminine energies. Now, of course, the masculine energies have to do with order, and the feminine energies have to do with chaos. Those that rule the society, they view it like the best way to control is through anarchy or absolute chaos. And so our world goes from order to a disorder. Homosexuality having to do with that disorder. Again, the feminine energies have to do with chaos and disorder. If you can get all the masculine energies to transcend feminine, well, we live in a chaotic world. Do you get my point? I'm sure those who rule, well, it ain't probably been a better time to be a ruler. You get my point? If you understand anarchy and ruling through that, it ain't a better time to be a ruler. Because y'all are occupied with y'all chaos. And that y'all don't truly see anything that's transpiring. Y'all don't even ask the questions, who's the real ruler of the world? Because y'all are all busy with y'all, you get it, individual little chaoses. Y'all little individual bickers. And so it goes deep. Peace and wisdom, Myron Gray. That makes sense, man. Like I said before, you don't gotta come here trying to sound extra smart. Make things simple so everyone grasps. Male child of perfect innocence and high intelligence is the most satisfactory and suitable victim. Aleister Crowley. Oh, you're repeating Aleister Crowley quotes. Aleister Crowley, in respects, would come from the upper class. Meaning he's from a time where if your ass ain't had no status in society, you could forget education. You're just trying to make it through the day. And so you get my point? Aleister Crowley's from the upper echelon, I suppose, or somehow got associated with the higher class. In that, he got a lot of wisdom pertaining to things y'all don't understand because y'all on the other side. So everything Aleister Crowley is saying is right from the perspective of somebody that's on the opposite side of y'all. Let's say rulers. That's why I say if y'all can grasp, this has to do with transcending the masculine energy feminine. Of course, this is an agenda that's going to take time, or an agenda that's been in place that will take time. It's not going to happen overnight. But slowly transcending the masculine energies feminine is how you get the chaos. And this is how the rulers get to absolute control. Now, when you're dealing with religion in its early beginnings, boys' booty holes and the men, their booty holes was tampered with by the priest and things like this. Meaning when you go to early religion, all these quotes like we are the bride in Christ have to do with manipulating, you know? The masculine energies to go feminine. You get my point? In that we all the bride in Christ, the priest has a right to say, you know, let me dig in that prostate. Let me dig with that prostate. And some of y'all say, man, that sounds stupid. Your common person in today's times that's over 40 years old, let the medical institution convince them that they need to stick their finger up their ass so they can check if they got prostate cancer. We got x-ray machines and all kind of technology. You telling me that's the only way to check if a man got prostate cancer is by sticking your finger in his ass? That sound old school. Like something that people in a tribe would have to do. Again, we got all kind of technology. Don't nobody need to go inside you for anything. You know that. Again, they stick their finger up a man's ass to check if he got prostate cancer. I'm saying that so y'all could grasp. They come up with new dumb shit all the time. In the past, religion had more, the church had more control over the society. The priest was like your king. And so do you get my point? The same way y'all go with letting doctors dig in y'all ass. In the past, they went with letting the priest dig in their ass, because you get my point? Everybody is the bride of the Christ, and the preacher is the physical representation of this God. This is why when you go into the Catholic Church now, they still playing with little boys' booties. It all got to do with what I said. Transcending the masculine energy feminine. There you go, Khan. They don't need to go inside your head to check for brain cancer, but they need to go in your ass. That's why I said if you over 40 and you got your prostate examined and they put a finger in that booty, you easy. How can that work on you? The first thing I would have said was, you ain't got no other way. My ass hurt. I can't do it. My ass got a cold. My ass sick right now. You ain't got no other way. And so you get my point? I'm saying that so y'all can see how gullible people are. So if you got a mind to say, man, I don't see how people in the early church will be easily convinced to let the pastor dig in their ass. Y'all easy now. Y'all let any person that's in the society that's a doctor dig in y'all booty. Like I said, I used to tell young girls that when I was young, but I was young. So when you're young, you say dumb shit. You dig in your butt. You say, no, come on, let me do it. It's healthy. It'll make your titties work. You know, when you a young boy, you make up anything. You like, I'm trying to get me some Poom Poom 99. You get my point? That's like the medical institute. They came up with some, it's healthy if we dig in your ass. And y'all was like, okay. Okay, Cat Daddy, get to digging. I don't know how it went. Sound spice hamish. Peace and wisdom, champ. I'm gonna let you go. Y'all done. Next time you come in an environment, there's a way to spark a conversation and there's a way to spark an argument. If anyone's confused on what I'm saying, that's a question. Oh, he getting offended because he probably got his prostate exam. Right. Like I said, this ain't about that though. Meaning if you got your prostate exam, you're a little easy. And you get my point? The main thing is to become aware and like I tell all the young that I know, don't let nobody dig in your ass no matter what excuse they come up with. You get my point? And so, those of y'all that have already, you might as well just go on ahead and turn gay because be bragging about it so much. Oh, it feels so good. Wait till you get to go. I'm not. I'll never. I'll just die if I have prostate cancer. It's my time. When the Lord call you. When the Lord call you home, baby, you got to go. Where the cameras, where doctors put people. It's a deep thing. Peace and wisdom now. Like I said, in early religion, it had to do with homosexuality. This is why Muslims kind of pray, face down, ass up. And you get my point? It's strange. The men, they get a little strange if you ever wonder why Muslims gotta pray like that, though. Ain't no other way. Yeah, there's other ways to pray. But they pray like that because in their beginnings, you get it? The imam or the priest of that religion. Oh, they was digging in men's ass. It's like in football. The person stand behind the quarterback or the quarterback stands behind the guy that passes him the ball. He puts his hand up his ass. When I was younger, I was playing football for the Bronx Eagles. The Bronx Eagles, they told me, I was going to be the quarterback, the wide receiver, or the running back. They was trying to decide. So when it came time to the quarterback time, they're telling me like, you have to put your hand, it has to touch his cup. This is his ass and his balls. So I quit. I never, a different caliber, I quit. I said, no, I can't go home after I do that. People I come from won't accept me if they find out. I had the back of my hand on some guy's balls. And so it's a deep thing. Peace and wisdom. Peace and wisdom, Khan. You can comment. Peace and wisdom, Myron. He said sodomy is extremely important to the Alpha Lodge because we know that if you sodomize loud about the deity you know as Jehovah, you get his power. Shit crazy, man. Yeah, football is definitely spice ham, you feel me? Hot sausage at the Frankston. I'm sorry, hopefully I ain't scaring none of y'all. I'll let y'all see me in my glory today. I look like Morgan Freeman in that. Peace and wisdom. Make sure you get the knowledge, Goofy. You look like my ding-a-ling. Fat. I'm sorry. I should have threw my hat on so I could play with the little kids. You don't want your grays out. Having dumb conversations with little dumb fools. But if I had my hat on, I would have told you look like my ding-a-ling. Fat. You probably wipe that piss you right off. Ding-a-ling fat and sloppy. If you black, that's how you deal with people. They want to insult you. You look like Mega Man and this and that. Okay, well, you look like my dick. How'd that look? Fat. Out of shape like a... obese like a motherfucker. You hear me? Now, let's keep this going. I'm sorry, y'all. I didn't mean to. Peace and wisdom, Morgan. Really spicy coming here flirting with me. You have a nice voice. No, I don't. That's how you got to deal with people in the daytime. It's like, oh, that's a nice shirt you got on. Nah, it's not that nice. I got it out the thrift. They flirting with you is deep. I see why y'all dress bummy now. I'm about to adopt that shit. You look too good in these times. People start plotting on me. Like, ooh, I'm gonna take his booty. Nah, blood. My booty got doodoo in it. I don't white. You gotta come outside filthy. We coming up on them times where you gonna have to come outside filthy if you don't want to get raped. Because I'm talking men. Forget women. Niggas don't even want women poom poom no more. Chicks walking around trying to give it away. Butt naked. Niggas like, nah, I want that booty. I want that dookie. Hold on, let's get back to the video. I'm sorry. You already know that, Zoleni. I don't know how to say your name, but you feel me. You know what's up. You go, Myron Gray. Some of y'all got a mind the grass. Some of y'all don't. Any of y'all that want to give back, click the description. That's the video's title. My links are there. Now, like I said, when you're dealing with religion, religion is a thing that has to do with society. And so, like I said, society wants your booty. And so in early religion, Muslims was praying like that, but that had to do with prostrating before the Lord. Prostate, you know, face down, ass up, priest behind you, and you get my point? Y'all seen that, y'all heard that Diddy audio? Somebody was on one side of the door and it sounded like two dudes was in there having a good time, you know? That's the early church. You go to church, you say, oh, I think I came too early. Let me come back. You hear too, oh my God, Pastor! The Lord is great! And then getting his door knocked, you feel me? Getting his heels clicked. Let me stop bothering y'all. I'm sorry. I forgot they're sensitive people. People who have already done the oochie coochie. Now, in society, prostate exams and all of that have to do with feminizing men, or it has to do with the homosexual agenda. This started a little bit before prostate exams, meaning the homosexual agenda or the transcending masculine energy into feminine energy. And this all has to do with anarchy and ruling. That started, the prostate exam started a little bit after that. Prostate exams started for the public like late 70s or 80s, sometime around then. Meaning prostate exams is not that new. I mean, it's not that old. And homosexuality being accepted like it is now, it ain't that old either. Meaning homosexuality back in the 60s, 70s, and 80s wasn't as common as you see now. And in the 60s, 70s, and 80s, these dudes know nothing of prostate exams. You get my point? And that I'm trying to get y'all to grasp. That prostate exam got to do with transcending the masculine energies feminine. Like I said, if everyone's energies, meaning the men's energies, are transcended feminine, this will add to the chaos. Masculine energies is order. Feminine energies, disorder. It's that Brahma Shiva thing. Of course, Shiva has to do with the ends of the world. Meaning when you get to total or absolute anarchy, chaos, well, of course, you have to know that's going to bring about the ends. So, it's a Shiva thing. Meaning all starts with your masculine energies, then transcends into the feminine. The feminine is disorder, chaos. And so, of course, these are the things that will bring about the end. Disorder and chaos. And that, do you get my point? They're trying to transcend the masculine energies feminine. And that prostate exams, you know, digging in your butt, all of these things, is done for a reason. Look at it like this. Masculinity is an energy, and all energy is a consciousness. Feminine, this is an energy and a consciousness. Once the chakra, this is the prostate or the Ajna chakra, once the chakra, which is the energy, once the energy is conquered, the masculinity in the energy will transcend or be altered into the feminine counterpart. The vibration will change. So look at it like when a man goes and get a prostate exam and then he comes out and he say, oh, it felt so good. You get it? It's just the beginnings of homosexuality. Think like if this was the time before any man knew anything about homosexuality. Once he get his prostate touched or dug up in his booty, he gonna want it again. And the only person that can dig in his booty or the pinnacles of booty digging is another man. And that, do you get my point? The prostate exam is like the precursor to homosexuality. Remember, this is your third eye knowledge. Meaning when you're dealing with Hinduism, there's a lot of wisdom concerning the third eye, or the Ajna chakra. This is your ass and your prostate. Everybody wants to be Superman. Meaning I'm responding to your comments. You said we should stop the downfall of the black. You said we should stop the downfall of the black community. It is spiraling. Everybody has to stop wanting to save everybody else and save themselves. Meaning, this spiraling out of control that you're talking about is individuals in the community spiraling out of control. If all individuals just get their shit together, meaning if everybody focus on their self, and making sure they uplift their own and they do their best to bring good light to their own. If everybody just focus on their own part, not the next person talking about, well, they ain't doing this or I ain't doing it. But if everybody just focus on their self and do the work on self, then we wouldn't be spiraling out of control. We're spiraling out of control because when you get the black people, they minds is on everybody's business except the self. And y'all can be distracted easily from self by any new gossip or any new negativity happen. We're not even aware that we're not concerned with positive news anymore. Positive news being the vibration, just like negative news is. When you hear negative news all the time, you're on a negative vibration. You'd have to be to receive it in. You hear positive news all the time, you're on a positive vibration. You'd have to be positive to receive it in. Now, of course, when you're in negative times, when most of y'all hear people have good news, y'all will get to hating and getting bitter and saying, man, fuck them, blah, 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 blah. You get my point? And that, use it as a reference. If everybody deal with self, stop worrying about the next person, but focus on self, we'll be better off. But more than anything, it's about the young, because y'all the ones that's going to be around. You get my point? The old are going to die off. When you 40, my age and up, so the clock is ticking just on a life aspect. You ain't got to worry about getting killed or nothing like that. You just old now, so it might be your time. And that y'all the only ones gonna be left, and for the most part, y'all the only ones left now that, would care. Most people that's older, whatever's going on in society, they already clicked out of it and don't care. And so you get my point? Y'all gotta pay attention to y'all ways. Peace and wisdom. She's the third hitman. I think I'm y'all age, that's why, we be having these problems where I got to curse y'all out. Cause y'all think I'm 20. Like little kids bothering y'all own elders when y'all come here acting out of pocket, man. How you gotta... You said you had to block them. I said, how you do that? I mean, yeah, you kind of spicy hitman. I'm gonna let you go in a minute if you keep the spice ham activities going, big baby. Now, when you're dealing with gangs, secret societies, sororities from college, or any cult that you can think of, in their early beginnings, they were looking to conquer that booty. They still are, but you get my point? It's probably a little more hidden. Now, like I said, I'm dealing with early gangs, secret societies, sororities, different cults. It all have to do with conquering that booty. They basically seek to compromise the chakra or dominate through it. Look at it like a love thing. So when you're dealing with early gangs, the leader of the gang was having sex with all the other dudes in the gang. They had to bust their cheeks and clap their cheeks so they can get in. And when you're dealing with early sororities, secret societies, you had to give up that booty at some point if you wanted total access. And so it's probably still like that for people who just ain't gonna be coming forward talking about, yeah, my booty is killing me, from the sorority meeting last night. And so you get my point. Now, it's a domination thing, like I said, through the love energy. Sex is a love thing. I guess a man having sex with another man, at some point, that man build a love for him. Even if it's a hate there, it's a hate love. And so you get it? That prostate within a man is important. It's his masculine energies or the consciousness associated with it. And once it's tampered with, you get my point? It can force the man into his feminine. And that, like I said, you got all kind of jail relationships where the one man raped the other man, but now they lovers. And you like, how does that work after a nigga beat your ass and raped you? Dominated him through the love energies. He conquered his Asna chakra, which is in his third eye. That's his asshole. And so you get my point? It's that ancient knowledge, that real ancient Hinduism knowledge of the third eye. They got to do with conquering souls, or chakras, so to say. Like I said, up in that asshole, that's where that Asna chakra is. That's the prostate. You get the touching on tampering with that thing, you tampering with the energies A woman don't have a prostate. Like I said, that's the source of masculinity. That's what separates a man from a woman. You get the tampering with that. You get it? They could be like King Vaughn talking about, bye, Josh. I love you, Josh. I'm sorry, King Vaughn fans. I didn't mean it. I'm just getting a little carried away. Sometimes I do that. A man's anus is like a woman's clitoris. He said somebody advises that men massage their prostate through the anus. Digging y'all own ass for y'all go to the doctor and let them do it. You get my point? Oh, don't even do that. But some of you, I'm going to the doctor today. They're digging in his own ass. See the doctor. Here you go. I think I need to get my prostate checked again. They're getting his head blown out. Clapping his own cheeks. Walk by that bathroom all you hear is, ah! That peanuts cracking and shit. In there. I heard walnuts cracking. That's the two balls breaking it. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to say that. Where was that? I know it's almost in here mad right now. They like, we catch Solids, we gonna beat him up. No. You will not catch me anywhere that homosexuals congregate, my good brother. Shit deep. But make sure outside of all the joking y'all grasp, because this is real. Meaning the society we live in, they got all kind of ploys to get in y'all asshole if you're a man. When you're going to the doctor, all kind of things. And this has to do with that third eye. And the energy associated with it. Even if you're a woman, you got to put your son up on game. And we're trying to get in this booty more now than ever. When I was growing up, well, it was before prostate exam times and before homosexuality times. And that, you get my point? A lot of these young boys already got their cherry pop. That's why you get it. They're a little spicy. And so kind of grass. I'm explaining the third eye and how it's the anus. Wink, wink. And you know, that third eye leads to the Asna chakra, which is the prostate gland. The source of masculine consciousness and all consciousness. Meaning even women come from the prostate. We all start as a substance, seminal fluid, ejaculated from our fathers, male and women included. So the prostate is the source of all consciousness, but specifically the masculine consciousness. In that, I don't want to have your prostate getting tampered with so much. Hopefully you're not serious cheeks. But like I said, having that prostate tampered with this has to do with conquering the masculine energies. And so in prison, different secret societies, all kind of things, you going find booty play the higher up you go. You get my point? Or you going to hear things about it. This is why in HipHop, they're looking to conquer their ass. You say, I don't see why they so gay in hip-hop. It's a chakra thing. They're trying to tap into that chakra energy like that crazy boy Orlando Brown said. Panda eyes. Change your life. Do you hear me, man? And so, I guess this is why they want y'all to think the third eye's on the forehead. Because then y'all won't protect y'all third eye with y'all life. Understanding the stability of my energy is dependent on this thing. Man-wise, meaning if you a man. And so, In perspective, you can say they conquered the society, or whatever genre we're speaking of, they conquered the people there. Hip-hop, the church, the pastor or the priest, he raped because he was raped. When he was a little boy, his ass got played with. That's why he do it. And so you get my point? When you're dealing with these little groupings, you're going to find butthole play. But this all go back to ancient times and understanding that the third chakra is the anus. And there's hella wisdom that go with it. Don't call me with the Weinsteins. In that, if a CEO conquers a new up-and-coming rapper's chakra, do you get my point? You control over him. Once you lose your masculine energy, you get my point? You'll be getting blackmailed and all kind of things. It's like a control thing. I don't know how to explain it, but just think like jail when the one guy rapes another guy. And he become like his bitch in a way. You be scared to look in his eyes and shit. He be a real spiced ham with it. Now, if you can apply that to the music industry, you get my point? I guess however many chakras you conquered, like I said, it's a dominant thing. This is why they had Sodom and Gomorrah in the past. You know, a city of wild chakra parties. Third eye chakra parties. Now that you know what the third eye is, you get my point? Back in the day, having third eye chakra parties, you know, prostate exams. And so the Lord had to burn that place down, yeah? And chakra freak-offs. There you go. Got all kind of magic pertaining to sex, meaning masculine energy and feminine energy. These sex organs are the source of this energy. There's a lot of sex magic or sex knowledge. Like I said, in the daytime, y'all are a little immature. So if I put up a post of an asshole in Shiva's forehead with a third eye, you get it? Y'all get lost in like children. Not fully grasping like, oh, okay, this is deep. And there's a lot of wisdom pertaining to your body. Meaning the body is the most powerful thing in existence, but most people are too shallow to learn. They can only learn the shallow way, where the third eye's on the forehead, and you get it, you pretend like you're astral projecting or something. But the prostate corresponds with the eye that you see outside of the physical. Meaning if I ask most of y'all, how do y'all see in y'all dreams being as though y'all eyes are closed? And that consciousness is sleep or unconscious. Again, when you're dreaming, you can see. But how if your eyes are closed and that consciousness or your brain is unconscious? How do you see? It's like that light has a mind of its own. That's not my camera or nothing. I don't know what that is. It's just like when I first started teaching, I had a video that I did. It's so old now, I don't even remember what happened. Some of y'all do though. I don't know where that video is anymore. Like I said, it must be my angel. You know, I am divine. It's a deep thing. He said, why do dogs smell ass? Chakra energy, man. But that booty. And it was that. Damn, I lost my thought. But the prostate, this is the source of all consciousness. Meaning everybody derives from this. So there's a lot of wisdom pertaining to it. Like I was saying, how y'all see when y'all in dream, being as though y'all have no eyes and the brain is unconscious. It has to do with that prostate. When you're dealing with a woman, it has to do with and steam gland. But this is the spiritual eye. You get my point? The prostate. That's like your spiritual brain or consciousness. Like I said, it's the source of all consciousness, not this brain. That one. That's the one that all the spirits is coming from. And that, do you get my point? That's a very important part of the self. That's the part of the self that has to do with divination, dreaming, afterlife, and anything concerning the unconscious or subconscious. View the consciousness as the physical, and you get it? The unconscious, subconscious, dream state, like that. The below. And so it's a deep thing. When you're dealing with religion, hip-hop, entertainment, the higher ups you go, they're going to be looking to conquer that booty. But that booty is the third eye, and you get my point? It leads to the chakra. Masculine energy chakra. And once you can compromise that, do you get my point? Absolute domination. Man come in jail tough after 6 months of him being somebody's girlfriend. He don't look the same. He don't sound the same. Now Kool-Aid on his lips. Talking about, hey Dante. He's like, oh shit. Where am I at? And so you get my point? Anybody could be made homosexual. This is why y'all have to. This is a spiritual thing. It don't have nothing to do with physical. It do, but you get my point? Your perspective, your masculine perspective, it's a spiritual thing, not so much physical. In that, keep your chakra energy safe. Dennis Simpson said, there's a black man that claims to be a woman here on YouTube. Like I said, a lot of chakras have been compromised. You got a lot of people that have been molested as a child as men. Hey, butthole got dug with. And so you get my point? Like I said, homosexuality ain't got nothing to do with I was just born that way, y'all. There's something to spark it. And the sparking of it got to do with that Asna chakra, or that third eye. And so, it's a deep thing. Cheese, the third hit, man. We need you to change your name from that, champ. You said, how do we obtain foresight and build our intuition? I remember when you were in the streets and you said you can smell a cop a block away or something along that lines. There's consciousness with every aspect of existence. So a criminal has the intuition and the intellect of a criminal. Now you can say the criminal mind has its pinnacle, which is absolute awareness. In that, I could smell a cop. I remember one time I walked in somewhere with my sister and I said, we out of here, there's cops in here. And then right after that, somebody got, she's like, how the hell you knew that? I could just smell them, like, the energy is different, or my energy get different. You get my point? It's an energy thing. If you on one side of the extreme, the other opposite energy will cause a disturbance of some sort. This is an intuition, or however you want to use it. You get my point? Now, one of the good sides of life and the balanced sides of life, you get my point? That's a consciousness as well, and it has its pinnacle, which is absolute awareness in regards to that side. And so it's the same. You have intuition of evil people and all kind of things. And then you have your normal common consciousness, where it just ping pongs all over the place and it pretends it's everything. Both extremes needing to evolve into the absolute at some point where it grasps the whole, but y'all keep making me lose my conscience. Y'all keep making me lose my perspective on what I was just talking about. It's right on the tip of my tongue too. I forget. Oh, intuition. Intuition, higher thought, and all sense of all knowingness. All these divine states y'all looking to reach have to do with y'all having a connection with the all first. I'm gonna use the word God because y'all kind of lost on that. But like I always say, God got to do with the God over this physical world, which is the Satan. And then you have the God that all comes from, source. You have to have a connection with that first before divination. Or before you can do all these divine acts or knowings that you seek to do. Meaning you want to have crystal clear intuition. You want to know all things. This all got to do with your connection with God. And it's like I said, God is within us all. God is basically our higher or greater self. Meaning you at your perfection. There's a you at your all low. You may have never reached that. That's you as a bum with a cup in your hand on the corner with insects crawling all over you because you ain't washed your ass in months. On every drug you could think of, finished out. This is you at your lowest, all of us, me included. There's a me in existence or an ideal of me like that in existence, you too. Then there's the pinnacles of whatever you can perceive yourself to be. Meaning a greatness that you can't even fathom. I'm giving you the lows. There's an even lower than that probably. But I'm sure y'all can all picture like, damn, I could maybe imagine myself at my lows that I never even thought of. Do the same with the highs. You and your perfection, where the mind is crystal clear. You're perfectly thin, your ways, confident and strong, fully healthy. If you overweight, underweight, everything is perfect. You get my point? You and your perfection. That's God. That's within. And never so often when y'all get, on the wrong path, y'all get the higher voice. Y'all own higher voice telling you like you shouldn't do this. Maybe when you first lost your virginity as a woman, you got that higher voice kicking and saying, no, I shouldn't do it, but you did it anyway. You blew it off. That thing, that sense that kicks in ever so often, that's God within us all. Comes as us. And all of us at our highest self is one. All of us at our lower self is the individuals or the Satans. So God is one thing, meaning God within me, God within you. It's the same God. Our highest self, but our highest self is one. You know how they might say like we all one in God? We all one in God are in our highest state. And we all separated out the Satan in our lowest state. In that, you can get a perspective of where everybody in the life for the most part is. We all in our lowest state. In that, everybody lost into their individuality and their self. So, you get my point? But like I said, God is that thing. One has to get a knowing with that. Meaning most people have never took a time out to think, damn, what is that higher voice? Let's start with the simples. Let's say you decide to do something, then you get that counteracting thought. But you never asked yourself, like, damn, what was that? My thought was what it was. Then the counteracting thought came in. What was that? And how can I know that more? Now, I'm not saying you want to know the counteracting thought more, but in regards to those moments when you don't feel sure, you talk in your mind. Maybe you about to do something bad and you like, damn, I don't know about this. But at the same time, you about to go and do it. And then that higher thought kick in like, nah, I don't do it now. And usually when we do it anyway, you get my point? The higher thought be right. It be one of those, now shit, you did that shit. But that higher thought that kicks in, this is God within self coming as yourself in its heights, telling you to do a thing that you wouldn't do in your heights. If you was in your greater vibration, you would not do this. That's what that voice is. And you can become more familiar with that voice. Meaning the more you oblige to that voice, the more it manifests in self. Remember, whatever the voice is telling you to do or not to do is the glorious decision. In that, do you get my point? When you oblige, you're doing the works of your higher thoughts. And this is what make you your physical higher self, when you just oblige to the higher thoughts. But the higher thought have to be manifested within self more. And the way to do that is by obliging to it more. Meaning, y'all blow the higher voice off more than y'all kind of listen to it. It started when you was a kid. In that, do you get my point? You are your higher thought, or you have no higher thought to pull from. Because you blew it off so much. You kind of left alone. In that, you feel lost and empty. So you may hear people say, man, I ain't got nobody to talk to. I feel lost in this life. It's because they abandoned their higher self, or the better judgment that is within us all. That's basically God. And like I said, all of us are reaching the pinnacles of ourself is just one thing, perfection. You'll still be your own individual and I'll be mine, but in regards to our knowing and our ways, we'll be one. You'll be all knowing, I'll be all knowing. My ways are perfectly fair, yours is perfectly fair. You get it? My mind is clear because there's nothing I need to be worried about. Yours is clear because there's nothing to worry about. So on and so forth. It's all what you give the attention to. Yesterday I lost my phone in the store. Then I found it, but the screen was broken. I could have got mad. I didn't. I said, whoever broke the screen, well, they're going to get sevenfold bad luck. Outside of that, it's not important. I got other phones, and more than that, I got enough to buy another one. So it's all a blessing. In that, something countered it. You get my point? Meaning, when you become fully aware, you're going to notice every time something you would view as bad happening to you, something good is going to happen to counter it. But most people overlook it because they get lost on the bad. Meaning, I lost my phone. I could have got all worked up over that. Started slapping people in the store. I didn't know who got it, but I'm like, I'm sure somebody in the store got it because I just left it in here. I only stepped away maybe a minute, 60 seconds. But I ain't feel no way inside. I was just like, it don't even matter. That's on me. It is what it is. You get my point? I guess when you get grown, things don't bother you as much. I just was like, anybody seen my phone in here? Phone? Nah, fuck it. I went on about my day doing what I was doing. I ain't even think about it. Like I said, I'm just thankful I could buy another one. And I got other ones at home too, so it is what it is. I blew that off. Shortly after that, I called the phone, I get an answer. So you get my point? Blowing off the one thing and not giving it no attention, opened up to the next thing. And it kept going, but the more aware you become, you start to notice that every time something doesn't go how I want it to go, there's a counteract. Every time there's a night, there's a day. But it's all what I'm lost on or what I care to, pay attention to. In that, you get my point? Y'all all have God with y'all, but y'all have blew it to the side for society or this thing or that thing or just to do what you want. Once you get in line with that higher voice, I've already given you an example of it. Most of y'all got it a lot when y'all were young. When you're young, peer pressure be high, you're new in life. There's a lot of things that people are trying to get you to do that you ain't sure about or that like this ain't right. And that when you're young, you get that voice a lot. You could build a relationship with God when you're young faster than when you old. By the time you old, you done blew that voice off so much. You get my point? There's a whole disconnect. This is how people get disconnected from God. They start seeking it outside of themselves. And so you're going to get that higher voice when you oblige to it. And the more and more you oblige to it, the more and more you and it become one. Where you don't need to be dependent on it no more. You are it. You have evolved into it. It's like somebody saying this is you at your lowest and this is you at your highest. And you at the middle. You can become this bum low thing. Just give up on yourself and it'll happen. Or you can evolve into this greater thing. Like that. You're going to become either or just stay in limbo. And so you get it? Knowing God got to do it perfecting self. Meaning if one wants to truly have a relationship with God, there has to be a moment of perfecting self. Perfect is like clean. You're going to get dirty, but the cleansing self again. Once you clean, you clean. All new dirt is new dirt. And you clean up when it comes time. You get my point? This is you perfect. You'll be perfect and then, look at perfect is clean. You'll get dirty, but you can clean yourself or renew yourself every day. Mentally, spiritually, or physically. And so it's a deep thing. Now, if you have any questions, ask. I'm about to depart. So in other words, we have, I don't know what you wrote over that voice. That voice is the highest self. When you go on your own accord and blow it off, you are basically letting God know, I got it and I don't need you. And it's like I said in a previous video, God will back up. You can have it then. And then when people have it and fall on their face and they say, I don't know what to do, man, I'm done. Just leave it in God's hands. This is when they start, getting a little assistance and getting it back together. And at some point, the ego goes again and they don't need God no more. They did it themselves and they could do it. And this is the cycle of man. Falling on his face, getting lifted back up by God or his higher self within, which is one and the same. And then once he's on his feet, he goes on his own accord as if he did it himself. Blowing the voice off when he doesn't need it anymore. And start the cycle again. Fall on the face, becoming aware, I'm really not in control. Everything that happened for me or is happening for me, it's via higher glory. That higher glory is your higher self pulling for you to evolve into that. Just like you have the lower energies or the lower self pulling to want you to be that. Most people have already surrendered to their lower self, their shade. In that, they darken their ways. And so this goes deep, meaning understanding God on the real level. Not the religious Bible, but understanding God on the real level and the connection you have to God. It go deep, Most people ain't Their consciousness has not matured enough to even, grasp. Trail Chris said if a man's booty is tempered, even just once, they can turn a homosexual almost instantly. Once the chakra is conquered, it's conquered. A man could get raped in hate. He has no desire to have anal sex or ever be with the man again, and nothing homosexual can ever happen with him again. But in his spirit, he's different to him. And all that knows him knows like some part of him is different or conquered. He's not all the way the man that we know. Like that. Once the chakra is tempered, a consciousness within is tempered with the energy. And you can't get around that. It's not about a person being a homosexual. If you want to be a homo, that's your own personal business. It's not mine. I'm just speaking of the energy being conquered. Once that happens, a man loses himself. Any man that had been raped or had homosexual activities, and they honest, meaning they can express themselves honestly, there's no shame or nothing, they probably could tell you themselves, like, yeah, before that, I was a little different. Just think if somebody raped you, I'm sure you know when you see them, you gonna know you not the same when you see their ass. So like that. Would you say that was the allegory story of Samson, the strong man that went spiritually blind? No. Oh, childish, man. I'm trying to teach y'all. If there's any people my age in here that's mature, speak ever so often. Your presence is definitely needed. And so, like I said, there's a lot concerning the greater self. Like I said, that word God have to do with the physical God. That's the Satan. I try to stay off that. That's society talk and, worldly things. When you're dealing with God, this have to do with the self. And you get my point? Shalom, shalom. I don't even know what they laughing at. They laughing at P. Diddy? Just one of your comments, Myron Gray. The self and the higher self are not one. Meaning you and your lower self and you and your higher self is not one thing. Just like you in unconsciousness and you in consciousness is not the same. They're their own thing fighting over you in perspective. Unconscious and consciousness. You come into consciousness, then you go unconsciousness. You not being either. You just the witness of the comings and goings of self. But y'all ain't good witnesses of the comings and goings of the self. You get my point? You have the lower self trying to pull you to be it, and you have your higher self, which is God, trying to pull you to be it. And you have your comings and goings between both, never reaching the pinnacles of either. Never fully reaching rock bottom, never fully reaching you in your glory. But do you get my point? These two things are separate and fighting over you. This is why I said God, all of us in our higher self is one. And so you get my point? Don't look at it like that voice is you. That's God. And in the heights of your beings or the pinnacles of yourself, you and God is one, but right now y'all separate. Your higher voice, my higher voice, the next person's higher voice is not us as individuals, but it's God. Its own thing, but it comes as us. As an example of what we can grow to be. Look at God as just a plain perfectness. No personality included. And we are all the individual personality that must evolve into this greatness. And that greatness or that glorious thing has many different personalities or ways of itself. But overall, you get it? The perfection aspect is it. And so, like I said, it's a daily thing, a daily understanding. The consciousness maturing, evolving to understand more and more daily. But having a relationship with God, it starts with the self, and it ends with the self. When there is no more self, but just the glory. In that, you the light of the glory, all the physical doings of this glorious thing. Those who do negative things, they the glories of the low, are the physical emanations of that. There you go, Myron Gray. Pure awareness, the perfection, the present moment. That's eternal. Man mind get to wandering in the past and in the future. These things have not come to be, or they already gone. And keep his consciousness there in make-believe land. But the present moment, this is all that's real, that's eternal. And he come and go from it. Never realizing, oh, this is eternity right here. And I have to hold the present. And so these things, like I said, they beyond where most people's consciousness is. But these is the paths and steps I had to take to get, to where I'm at. In regards to, my knowing and my clarity on things. It starts with self. And you get my point? Paying attention to the higher voice and absorbing it in. That's why I told you have to be fair in your ways, fair in your mindset. The mind is unbalanced, unfair, and you serve the lower vibrations. Most of y'all probably get thoughts to do negative things or things that we would call like cutting corners. And you get desperate thoughts. It's because of that. You have submitted to your lower self or the lower vibration. In that you get intellect from that. You get intention from that. And that your intentions is I'm going to take advantage. I'm going to do whatever I want. And these are the thoughts that come to you. And on the opposite side of that, you have the opposite side of that. Where a person only get thoughts to do good, to do fair things. And that they don't reap the harvest of imbalance. Just like the imbalanced person don't reap the harvest of fair. And fall on hard times, you say, damn, I wish somebody come through and save me. If you fair in your ways, somebody will. And if no person in life come through to save you, you'll see the energies in life come to work for your favors for you. And that is even more glorious in regards to you being a witness of the self. Some of y'all know what I mean. You say, man, I fell on hard times and everybody abandoned me, but I still was uplifted. And you're a witness. You have to become aware of the higher powers working in your favor. And the lower ones working in, dragging you down in their favor. Look at it like that. The higher glories is working in your favor, and the lower glories is working in their own favor. Meaning whatever dumb shit they want you to do, is so they can have existence. And whatever the high glories want you to do, is for your own benefit. Not so much for the highs, they already there. And so you get my point? You have to become aware, you have to be grateful, like somebody said. The vibration inside has to be transcended to gratefulness, where you can see what is being done for you. We like to get lost on what ain't being done for us, but we overlook how many desires and how many wants we have. In that, what does it matter what's being done for you? All that it doesn't matter what's not being done for you if you consider how many wants you have. There's too much things to fulfill, but if you pay attention to all the things that are happening for you, nothing happening for you is a good happening, because that nothing could be something bad. Some of y'all may say, man, ain't nothing happening for me right now. I feel stuck. Your ass ain't going through it, though. And so you respect stillness and you respect motion when it's good motion. And you get my point? Learn to be appreciative, even of the negative things, because they make for the glorious things to be what they are. And so hopefully y'all grasp. Anybody wants to give back, click the video title. My links are there. If y'all have any questions, ask. I'm about to depart. Peace and wisdom. Low vibration. When I speak of vibration in regards to disturbance, you get my point? You confusing two different lessons. When I'm speaking of your higher self or higher vibration, like I gave you the example, I'm speaking of that voice that pop in your head ever so often when you out of character. Outside of that, when I was speaking of lower vibrations in the pond, I was speaking of how y'all interacting with others. It had nothing to do with the self. When you in this life and you vibrating all high, I'm not saying you your highest self. I'm saying you vibrating all high. You're going to become a disturbance to others. Like if you put a high vibration in the pond, it's going to start rippling all crazy. When you come into this world, you want to come on a low vibration. It's close to a stillness and as subtle and as relaxed as you can get. It's like putting a low vibration in the pond. You may get an initial ripple and then it just adjusts. I was speaking like that for that. In regards to God being in self, and this is the higher self or the higher vibration, it has nothing to do with each other. You get my point? Peace and wisdom, hoops and nature. I'm going to do a video on breathing soon. Stretching and breathing and more of what I'm talking about in regards to knowing God, because they go hand in hand. So work on y'all balance for the most part. Appreciate the wisdom. Make sure you give back in some way. And I'm departing. Salam.